discovering a viral video where your own daughter-in-law blasts you to millions, calling you lazy and worthless. But what if that old woman has a secret life that could shatter everything? Buckle up for a tale of betrayal, hidden truths, and family redemption that hits home for every American who's ever felt undervalued by their loved ones. If you love your mom and dad, hit that subscribe button and show some love to her. Martha Jenkins had always been the pillar of her family, or so she thought. At 68, she lived in a modest two-story house in suburban Atlanta, Georgia, the kind of place where neighbors waved from porches and kids played basketball in driveways until dusk. Her days were a quiet routine, rising at dawn to brew coffee, tending to her small garden of tomatoes and roses, and spending afternoons in her rocking chair on the front porch, knitting scarves for grandchildren she rarely saw. Her son, David, a successful real estate agent, had moved her in after her husband, Tom, passed away from a sudden heart attack 5 years ago. David insisted it was for her own good, no more lonely nights in the old farmhouse upstate. But his wife, Lisa, saw it differently. Lisa, with her perfectly highlighted hair and a thriving career as a social media influencer, often grumbled about the extra burden Martha represented. That old woman just sits on her ass all day, Lisa had sneered in a now infamous video posted to her TikTok account, which boasted over 500,000 followers. The video, titled, "The Real Struggles of Adulting with In-Laws," showed Lisa in her kitchen, stirring a smoothie while venting. "She doesn't lift a finger. I cook, clean, work, and chase the kids while she just exists. It's time for some tough love, fam." The comments exploded. Some sympathized with Lisa's millennial burnout. Others called her heartless. But for Martha, scrolling through her phone one rainy morning, it was a dagger to the heart. She hadn't meant to see it. A neighbor had texted the link with a shocked emoji. Tears welled in her eyes as she watched, the words echoing like a betrayal from her own blood. David was mortified when Martha confronted him that evening. He burst into the house after work, tie loosened, face flushed. "Mom, I had no idea she posted that. I'll make her take it down." But Lisa, overhearing from the hallway, stormed in with arms crossed. "It's the truth, David, she's capable of more than knitting and staring at birds. Why am I the villain for saying what everyone thinks?" The argument escalated, voices rising like a summer storm. Martha sat silently in her chair, feeling smaller than ever. That night, as the house quieted, she made a decision. It was time for change, not just for them, but for herself. Little did they know, Martha's lazy days hid a world of secrets that would append their perfect lives. The next morning, Martha rose earlier than usual, slipping into comfortable jeans and a blouse she'd hidden in the back of her closet. She left a note on the kitchen table. "Gone for the day. Don't worry." David found it while pouring cereal for the kids, his brow furrowing. Where could she be? She's never done this before. Lisa smirked over her coffee. Probably at the senior center playing bingo. Good riddance for a few hours. But Martha was far from bingo. She drove her old Honda Civic to a nondescript warehouse on the outskirts of town, a place she'd frequented in secret for years. Inside, the air buzzed with energy. Computers humming, young volunteers chatting, and boxes stacked high with donations. This was the hub of Helping Hands, a nonprofit Martha had founded anonymously after Tom's death. Using the life insurance payout, she'd channeled her grief into action, helping low-income families with food, clothing, and job training. No one in her family knew, she preferred the anonymity. The quiet satisfaction of making a difference without fanfare. Today, she dove into work organizing a food drive, coordinating with local businesses, and even teaching a resume workshop to a group of eager single mothers. By evening, exhausted but invigorated, she returned home to find David pacing the living room. "Where were you, Mom? We were worried sick," David exclaimed, hugging her tightly. Lisa lingered in the background, eyes narrowed. Martha smiled faintly. "Just out, dear. Needed some fresh air." She didn't elaborate, but the seed of mystery was planted. Over the next weeks, Martha's absences became routine. She'd vanish for hours, returning with a glow that puzzled her family. Lisa, ever the influencer, posted subtle updates. "In-law drama update, now she's disappearing. What's she hiding? Family secrets." The video garnered even more views, turning their home into a reluctant spectacle. Comments speculated wildly, affairs, gambling, even spy theories. David pleaded with Lisa to stop, but she thrived on the engagement. It's content, babe. Our followers love the realness. Meanwhile, Martha's double life deepened. At Helping Hands, she mentored a young woman named Sophia, an immigrant from Mexico struggling to support her 2 children. Sophia reminded Martha of her younger self. Determined, resilient. They bonded over shared stories and Martha found purpose anew. One twist came unexpectedly during a family dinner. The kids, 8-year-old Emma and 6-year-old Jack, chattered about school while Lisa served lasagna. Midway through, David's phone buzzed with a notification. His face paled as he read, "Mom, there's an article online. About you." Martha's heart skipped. A local journalist, tipped off by a volunteer, had uncovered her role in Helping Hands. The piece praised her as a silent hero, detailing how she'd helped over 500 families in the past 5 years, all while battling personal loss. Donations poured in overnight. Lisa's jaw dropped when she saw it. What, all this time? For the first time, shame flickered in her eyes. But pride warred with envy. Her viral rants now looked petty. David beamed with pride. "Mom, why didn't you tell us?" Martha sighed. "I didn't want pity or praise. I just wanted to help." The revelation shifted dynamics. Lisa apologized tearfully, deleting her videos. But peace was short-lived. Enter the second twist. An anonymous email arrived in Martha's inbox days later. "I know your real secret." It read. "The one that could destroy everything. Meet me at the old park bench tomorrow, or I go public." Martha's hands trembled. What secret? Her mind raced back decades. Before Tom, there was a brief, youthful mistake. A short-lived affair during college that resulted in a child given up for adoption. She'd never told anyone, not even Tom. How could this stranger know? She confided in no one, slipping out the next day to the park. Waiting was a man in his 40s, sharp-suited, with eyes that mirrored her own. "I'm your son, Alex," he said quietly. "I found you through DNA testing, but I need help. I'm in debt, bad investments. If you don't pay, I'll tell your family everything." Blackmail. Martha's world spun. She refused outright, but fear gnawed at her. Returning home, she wrestled with the truth. Meanwhile, Lisa, sensing Martha's distress, dug deeper online. Her influencer skills uncovered Alex's profile, a con artist with a history of scams. Lisa confronted Martha gently. "I know about the email. Let me help." For the first time they allied. Together, they set a trap. Martha agreed to meet Alex again, wired by a friend in law enforcement. At the rendezvous, Alex demanded $50,000. "You're loaded from that charity buzz," he sneered. But as he spoke, police emerged, arresting him for extortion. The truth tumbled out in the chaos. Alex wasn't her biological son. He'd hacked adoption records and fabricated the DNA match to prey on vulnerable seniors. Relief washed over Martha, but the ordeal unearthed buried emotions. She confessed the real adoption to David and Lisa that night, tears flowing. "I was young, scared. I thought it was best." David hugged her. "Mom, that doesn't change anything. You're still our hero." Lisa, humbled, nodded. "I'm sorry for everything. I was wrong." But the biggest twist awaited. Inspired by Martha's story, Lisa pivoted her content. She launched a series called Unsung Heroes, featuring everyday people like Martha making differences. The first episode, about Helping Hands, went viral positively, amassing millions of views and donations. Martha became a reluctant celebrity, speaking at events. Her rocking chair days transformed. The family bonded deeper. David helped with charity events, the kids volunteered, and Lisa's platform amplified good. Yet, in quiet moments, Martha reflected on forgiveness. "Life's too short for grudges," she'd say, knitting in her chair, now a symbol of strength. Years passed in a blur of activity. Martha expanded Helping Hands nationally, opening branches in Texas and California. David sold more homes, but prioritized family. Lisa's influence grew, but with authenticity. One evening, as they gathered for Thanksgiving, Martha raised a glass to second chances. Laughter filled the room, the past shadows faded. In a final, heart-wrenching turn, Martha faced her own health scare. A routine checkup revealed early-stage cancer. The family rallied, supporting her through treatments. Lisa documented the journey tastefully, raising awareness and funds. Martha beat it, emerging stronger, her lazy label a distant joke. She wrote a memoir, From Porch to Purpose, inspiring thousands. Today, Martha still sits on her porch sometimes, but with grandchildren playing at her feet, sharing stories of resilience. The video that started it all, a catalyst for change. Family isn't perfect but with truth and twists, it endures.